and your good judgment and discernment will be the difference between you being a tyrant and you being a sentinel. Welcome to Fairly Adventurous, everyone. We don't have time to be talking about this for 3 hours because one of our party members has a hard out in 2 hours and 49 minutes. And we got a lot to do today to keep on track. So, gosh darn it. Previously on DnD...
I think the viewers will like it when you take this kind of charge, bud.
Listen, I know you like it when I take this kind of charge. You go to horny jail. Bonk.
Bonk.
Now, we're without Levi tonight. He was supposed to be here. He's not feeling well. We hope that he feels better soon. I am so angry. I am so upset. I gotta reset here. Previously on D&D, what we had was a session where we got a lot of roleplay done. And it was a great session, and I appreciate everyone for taking charge of their own roleplay there. Except for you, Melvin, because you weren't there. But you're here now. So
we'll RP'd for you.
We will RP'd for you. But
oh no.
Mainly we got a lot of health potions made. Some splint armors being made for Larry. A ring of protection is being made. The group has decided that will also go to Larry. But more importantly, Mon saw a poster of a chariot race, and it jogged some memories for him. And so he went down to the track, and after some convincing, made it onto a chariot team whose driver had previously broken his arm. And so he will be driving for a member of the nobility in the chariot race today. I believe where we left off was it was race day. The judges had just come by to ask Mon some questions. And then the pilot whose arm is broken was with you. I don't know if anyone else was with him or if what you guys were doing, but we can retcon that if we need to. So let's just go ahead and dive right in before I get on another tangent about the Halo TV show. Go.
I believe the judges just came by, took my information, and told me my heat.
Yes, they did. You will be in Heat 3. With the races starting...
I see your cap. I'm always in Heat.
Naughty baptism.
Please no.
Anyway. Yeah, you will be in Heat 3, which will be later on in the afternoon. So you have a couple hours to kind of get yourself prepped with whatever you want to do with that before we get there. But is everyone with him in the stables, or what's everyone doing?
I can't remember where were we at.
I met them in the morning, and we didn't specify if anyone else went with me, so...
We did not, so it's up to you guys. If you guys want to say that you're with them, I'd be on board with just kind of waving my hand and saying you're there.
Yeah, if Ranshaw has not been able to get access to the Hall of Records, Hall of Justice, whatever it is, then he'd probably just be hanging out with Mon, since he has to wait for the health potion materials to come in anyways.
Okay. Now you can. It has been 2 days, so you would if Duke Margrave is a man of his word, which you have no reason to believe that he's not. You would have access if you wanted to go. Say that because he said it would be 2 days. You're currently on day 6. So you'd have access if you wanted to go ask, theoretically.
Fair enough. Yeah, actually, well, I don't like the idea of splitting the party. No, it's knowing that Monkish is going to want to try and be in this chariot race. Ranshaw is going to support his friend.
Okay.
And in that, there's a whole nother day where I've got nothing going on where I can check out the hall.
Oh yeah, plenty of time. All right. So unless someone yeah, what was that, Larry?
I said I will also be there.
Okay. So unless someone wants to tell me otherwise, we'll just assume that you guys are all there. The pilot Chase, the one whose position you're taking, walks up to you and he says, "All right, what heat did they give you?"
Insert heat here.
3 heat 3 is what I said.
3.
Line.
He said, "Oh, okay. All right, you've got some good racers in Heat 3 from what I've understood. Some of the not the best, not the worst though. How you feel?
I feel pretty good after the showing the horses gave me yesterday. So we'll see what we can pull through today.
Great. Says all right, good. Heat 3 will take place around I think 2:00 this afternoon if everything goes according to schedule. So you got a few hours if you need to go take care of anything. I'll be here the entire time looking after the horses if you need me.
I'll probably go get myself a bite to eat. That way I'm fueled and ready for the race.
Okay. He nods and he says, "No problem." So you go off and do that. Easy enough to find. You could go back to the old Coast Inn if you needed to get it. You could come back. You have plenty of time. The day goes by relatively uneventful for everyone. Off and on, you'll leave the kind of casino track area, and you'll just come back. It's a beautiful day for a race. It's a little humid, but all in all, the track seems clean. It's not muddy or anything. Some of the heats go off. There is betting, of course. The heats start around noon, and the first race goes off without a hitch. It's a 3-lap race. They normally complete within about 3 minutes or so, and then track employees will go out there and kind of rake the track and get it ready for the next heat, while individuals collect their winnings and then place new bets. About an hour before your heat, Chase, so in the middle of, or at the very beginning of Heat 2, you decide to go back down there with the rest of it. And also, guys, honestly, I find putting in chat more distracting than just telling us if you've got to be AFK. So thank you for trying to be inconspicuous, Josh, but honestly, it just you can just talk. It's fine. If you got to go, just say you'll be right back. Anyway, you get down there. The pilot is still down there. He welcomes you back, and he says, "All right, good timing. You ready?"
Let's do it.
All right. So he assists as well as an aide from the track officials. Kind of oversee the entire of all the every team that gets placed and gets ready. They are kind of watching them to make sure that everything's within regulations. There's an aide assisting you and the pilot in getting the chariot hooked up, getting you guys into the warm-up area, letting your horses kind of trot a little bit and get warmed up. And then you guys line up. So for anyone except for Chase, you can't bet because you're running.
Can't throw the winnings. Darn.
No.
Can't throw the winnings.
Anyone who wants to bet, I have odds for you all. So, while you're prancing out, Chase, the pilot is telling you, he's like, all right, hold on, I gotta put this in the end game. The pilot is telling you, all right, so here's the deal. Most of the teams you're running up against are pretty good. They got good horses and good drivers. Red has horses comparable to your team, but the driver's a replacement just like you. Word is he's got the head knowledge but no feel for the horses. It's not him I'd worry about. I spoke with the judges, came by earlier and told me how they feel about you. They like the horses, but because they don't know much about you, they put you in the third spot. Please don't take that personally. Blue and green both have good teams of horses. Both of them are the drivers of both are rumored to have competed in the Moonshays and in the Nation of Am. So they're supposedly pretty experienced. But I'd place my money on you if I was a bet man. And he kind of knocks you on the shoulder with his good arm. you still feel good?
Of course, nothing like the adrenaline starting to seep in at the start of a race.
Yeah, I feel it. I wish I was being on the team, but I'm sure they're in good hands. You, who I just met yesterday. He gives a little smirk at that, but he's like, in all seriousness, no. I'm sure. Just try not to wreck the horses, and I'm sure you'll do fine. As he says that, trumpets play, and it being the indication that it's time to get to the starting line. He says, "Good hunting. I'll be here when you get back."
Start maneuvering my horses and chariot over into my position.
All right. And after a couple minutes, the officials direct you to the outside lane. Even though they haven't placed you on the long odds because you were not there kind of at the start of the week, and because they don't know much about you, they put you in the 4th lane. The rest of them, they kind of started out as where they thought they would finish. So they got blue team, green team, red team, and you, lanes 1 to 3. They lead you guys up to the starting line. It seems that the sand itself, it is a sand arena. And it seems that the sand itself at the starting line is green, as if they took a green rock and crumbled it up and put it out. There's no rocks or anything. And as you're looking down the track, it's very similar with the lines. It's all black sand. And it's perfectly straight. You imagine that it must have taken a good amount of time for the track teams to get out there and manicure it to the level that it did.
Did you give me access to my token?
Oh, do I not? I'm sorry. I thought I copied it from the other lane. I think it's here. Yes.
When do we get to place bets?
Right. In a second, I'll ask. All right. You should have access now. Go ahead and move it.
Yep.
It didn't move on my.
I just did. I didn't move it.
Oh, okay.
But I can click and drag it. I can click and drag it.
Okay. So, gentlemen who want to place bets, it is a maximum of 100 gold on today's betting. For Heat 3 specifically, it is a maximum of 100 gold. The odds you see, so to win is obvious. To place, he has to be in the top 2. For a Heat of 4, he needs to be in the top 2. So there's your odds. 3 to 2 to win, 2 to 1 to place. For blue, for Mon, it's 1 to 2 to win, 2 to 3 to place.
Okay.
100 gold bets.
According to my notes today. Oh,
You said
winter
maximum, right?
today. Okay.
Yes, 100 gold max for a bet.
Have to remember what season Ranch I was in today. Well, quite frankly, not sure if you can win.
Yep.
But out of sign of loyalty, we'll place 100 on Monkish. We'll likely lose it all, but
All right, 100 to win?
Might as well. Probably won't, but might as well. Is throwing money away. But bah! Better to throw money away on friends than something else.
I forgot what Babushka said.
All right,
A rat in the hand is worth 2 in the ass. I don't know.
I think I will bet 25 gold on Mon.
To win?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
50 to win.
50 to win. All right.
I'm feeling 50 to 1 too.
Okay. All right.
No pressure there, Mon.
Oh, all the pressure.
I have no idea that any of this happened.
Yeah,
so.
you guys aren't
that's
with it at
true.
this point.
Oh, give me a second. Yeah, man.
If I heard that voice come out of a rabbit, I would
This,
be
this little
deeply
Haragon
concerned.
shrieking from the stands.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
I mean, I have a passive 19.
You know what? Good enough. Yes, that's successful. You hear that and you kind of turn, and the stands have like the stone railing, and you see a little rabbit just kind of hopping up as he's yelling that. You better win. But the lights go down and the flag comes up, and long ago someone left with the cup. Let's get it going.
Mon is driving and striving.
As fast as they can.
That was the last song I sang at karaoke, and I love cake. All right. Anyway, the officials do their final checks, and then they run off to the side. And what you see is that they're running off to an area of stone that's elevated about a foot off of the ground, maybe a foot and a half off the track floor, with 3 statues of previous kings, except for the center statue, which is of a what you can only imagine as a goddess in a flowing robe, overlooking the track. But there's a king, and then what you imagine is a goddess, because it's definitely not a queen. They're not. It's not dressed or hewn in the same manner as the kings. But above you on the stadium edge is a man with a blue flag with gold trim, and he holds it up and he waits, and then he drops it, and we're off. So go ahead and roll me the initiative.
Okay.
Which is different for
Hiya! Ooh!
Ooh, that's good initiative right there. So for you guys, because I didn't send this rule set to anyone, the initiative is just a d20 roll, and then depending on what lane you're in gives you a modifier. So he has no modifier. Let's see, blue. Not great for blue, actually.
Haha, sucker.
BGRM 8.3 for him. Green, better for him, is 10.2. Red, also a 20, so he'll actually take the lead on that one, and then Mon with a perfect 20. So red will go first. Let me see what he's got here. Red team will go 1, 2, 3.
My horses can't step of the wind, can they?
No, but they can gallop. No, you can't do that. And then he will go ahead and dash to go 1, 2, or gallop rather, to go 1, 2. He'll take the gallop and spend one of his, which means he has 3 of those remaining. All right, now it's your turn. And it is a 3-lap race, so go for it.
Okay. So is it base 30 movement unless taking the gallop action?
No, it's just tiles. So your horses, if you don't have the stats for your horses, your power is a 3. So your base movement is 3. You can move up to 6 without if you so if you remember the rules. So for you guys here, he can move 3 twice because his horse's team power is 3. If he wants, he can gallop and give himself an extra 2, but he can only do that a number of times before he starts needing to make animal handling checks. If he only goes 3 on his turn, he gets one of those gallops back. If he goes 6, then there's no benefit but no negative.
Right. Okay. And then are we doing? Can I do multiple diagonals or no?
Yeah, as a part of your movement, yes, it's just 1. to move in.
Okay,
Yes.
that was my biggest question.
That is a part of it. Yes.
Okay. Then I'm just going to take the 3 diagonals in here,
Okay.
and then take my 3 no gallop, just 3/3.
Okay. Very good. And then we will go green. Green is gonna go 1, 2. Hold on. I had to double check what his is. Now his is the same. Okay. 1,
Chase
2,
instantly
3.
showing that he's better at this than me. I wouldn't have even considered going into another chariot's lane.
1, 2, 3. And then he's actually gonna go ahead and take the gallop, and he's gonna go 1, 2 to try and pass on the outside. We'll see how well that works for him. And that's 2. And then blue is gonna go 1, 2, 3. Because he's also 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And he's gonna try and take the center lane, not wanting to be left behind. All right, we'll roll initiative again. Because it changes every turn.
That is much
Ooh.
worse.
Yes, much worse. Okay. The good news is they're not doing so great either. So that's
I mean, so am I keeping my 0 modifier?
no. Since you're on the inside lane, you get a +4. +3.
Okay,
excuse
so
me.
it is just lane dependent.
It is lane dependent. If you are
Okay.
in the inside lane, you get a +3. Ooh. 1, and then what'd you have? 7.4. Okay.
3 plus
Or
3.
6.3. Okay. So you're not last, but green is going to go first with a 20.1. So let's see. 2, 3, 4. He can go 1, 2, and then he tries to cut inside, but that's as fast as he can go without pushing himself too far to the outside. So he's going to try and come in on the lane. And that is his turn. And that's going to give him one of his staminas back because he only went 3.
He galloped and only went 3. Okay.
Yes. All right. Blue, unfortunately, is in the back of the pack, so there's not really a benefit to him. 1, 2, 3. And he's actually not going to get a benefit because he didn't even get to gallop last time. And then we come to you. Now you're up. And you can go 2. If you go more than 2, you have to you will have to move into this lane. The good news is you would be able to move in front diagonally. You wouldn't have to intersect.
I'm confused.
Why do I only get 2?
So in the rules, if you go more than so each lane has a number of spaces that you can move. If you want to stay in that lane on a turn. So you can only move 2 on the inner lane. If you move 3, you have to go to this lane. If you move 4, you have to move 1 further into this lane, and then 5, you'd have to move into here. So 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So I can go 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And then do you have to move to the outside lane?
Yeah, if you go further, it's essentially like you can't corner at full speed. So you will
Right.
have to
I
move
mean,
outside.
yeah, it makes sense. But then I can also do 1, 2, 3.
Well, if you move 3, you can stay in this lane.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We will do that. And then is that specifically for the corners?
Yes, that's only for the corners.
And so if I gallop 1, 2, I can go here.
Well, technically, okay. So what it is because you started in this lane over here, you would only be able to go 1, 2, 3, and then if you went 4, you'd have to go into the outside lane. 5 would get you here, and then you can't go any further because you'd hit a lane. You'd sprint too fast. Essentially, with this turn, the best you can really do is get here, and then you'd have to take a break and then try and sprint the next one. You know what? Screw that. Yeah, let's say that you let's double it. So we'll say 4, 6, 8, 10. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4 and come here, and then anything else you had to move, you'd have to start moving out the outside then. Because I built this track a little bit too wide. And what I'll do with that...
Okay, so I started...
You started here.
Here?
Yes.
1, 2, and then I'm forced to the out.
No, we'll say that you can go... we'll say you can go 4. We'll just double it. Double all the lanes.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4 out.
Yes. 5 if you... Yeah. And you could move 1 more and go here.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can gallop from there.
And then gallop would give me an extra 2 in this lane.
Yes, because you would
because
you started in the because you started in the curve. Yes, correct. And that'll cost you 1. That'll cost you 1 of your stamina. So you're down 2 there. I'm gonna give each of these an extra 2 just because I changed the rules late.
That's fair.
And now we'll go to red, who will go 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll cut across 5, 6. I think and then he will try and come up alongside you and pass you on the edge, galloping. He's gonna take 1. He's running on empty. All right, now we'll run. Now we'll roll again. This is a clunky. I apologize to everyone who's watching. I built this hastily last week, and then I didn't get any chance to like go back and revise it because I got busy at work this week. So this is it might be a little clunky. It's not one of my best thought out systems, but I think it'll work for our services, or for our necessity. Wow. He is rolling hot. All right. Red is going to be just a 17. All right. And
Goodness gracious, roll 20.
This race is going crazy, Oric.
All right.
As long as he keeps staying out ahead of them.
You
Get our
have
money
a
back.
seltzer in your hand.
I need to get me a drink. This is getting stressful.
They have drinks?
All right. So that is as far as green can go because he does not have a high power.
So at what point did it not force him out of lane?
Because we doubled it, so he had 4, and because he was here, this could go 6. So he went 1, 2, 3, 4. Because originally that would have just been 3, and he would have had to have gone out right about here. But because we doubled it and gave him 4, he had enough to get to the edge of it. Oh no, I made you change a lane, didn't I? So yeah, we'll say
did.
I made you change a lane. So we'll change him a lane here. And what was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Blue. No, I'm sorry. Red will go next. He will go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Which will cost him a stamina point. Oh, wait, no. I'm mistaken. 1, 2, 3. He only has a power of 2, so he doesn't have the ability to go 3 per trot. All right, and then we will go blue, who does have 3. He can move 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he will trot 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because he had 8. He was on this outside lane, so he has the ability to move in if he needs to. All right.
So does that mean that red should actually be technically farther back since he only has a power of 2?
I moved him back.
He moved him back.
He would have made it here, but he got moved back. The power of 1, the power of 2, the power of many. All right.
You did not.
Dude, I didn't even watch that show. I couldn't even watch it. I watched the trailer and I was like, not for me. All right, Mon, it's your turn.
What show are you talking about?
Ooh.
Acolyte.
Acolyte.
Oh yeah, that bitch got canceled.
1, 2, 3. 1,
Yes.
2, 3.
Okay.
And then I am going to hold on to my gallop.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. We will roll for initiative. Blue. Man, not great for blue.
3, 4, 5.
Wow.
Can I just start rolling for him?
I mean, we started off so strong.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's D20. The roll 20 for you.
We're gonna make it through this with sheer wit.
All right, green's gonna go, and he's gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Because he is not good. His horses are not great.
How much horsepower does he have?
2 horsepower.
Good grief.
I
have,
actually
like,
have an answer for you now.
2.5.
All right,
3.
blue's gonna go. Blue's gonna try and pass. He's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, coming tight into the corner
How did he get around everybody?
because he has a power
guess
of
is-
3 and stamina.
My guess is diagonal.
Yeah. Sorry. Here. He was right here. 1,
Uh-huh.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Or was he right there? I think he might have been one space up, actually, because I think he gets into the turn. Nah, we'll leave him there. Diagonals don't count extra movement on straight because he was in a straightaway. He doesn't have to worry about his turn.
Okay.
So, and neither would you, because you're in a straightaway now too. So as long as you don't go more than 2 once you enter the lane, or excuse me, we doubled it. You can go 1, 2. You go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I can go
4.
1, 2, and then enter the turn.
Yes. Yeah. All right. I think I'm jumbling all the rules around here, but you know what? This is fine for just a little role play activity.
We'll make
polish,
it through.
Yeah, we'll polish this later.
We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it for the next time. Red is up. Red is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll spend a gallop to do that. His last one. He has to start making animal handling checks next time. And now it is your turn, sir.
Very good. All right, so I'm going to 1, 2, 3, enter the turn.
Okay.
And then... All right, hold on. No, I can do 1, 2, and then enter the turn here, no?
You can, yes.
Okay.
And then you can go up to 4 in this lane before you start getting kicked out.
Okay, well, then I'll just take my 3.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I will keep my initiative in the inside lane for now.
Okay. Yep. That's not a bad idea to keep the initiative bonus, especially with your low rolls. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Next initiative. Blue. Ooh, that was so close to being good. It's not though. Green. Worse. Worse for green. It's not 96. Promise you that. All right.
Please no.
Red. And what you got for me?
That's a great question.
It does not have. Well,
It legit went down the fucking line.
it did.
This is not a random number generator.
No, it's stuck in a pattern.
It is an incremental number generator.
So blue
I
is
feel
gonna
like
go
I'm watching
1,
an episode of Sesame Street.
2, 3, 4. So he has to get bumped out of the lane. He's got 2 more to give. 1, 2.
If any one of us rolls in roll 20, will it reset it?
That's a good question.
I don't know. All right, he's actually going to gallop to try and get 1 more position ahead.
Honestly, I'm due for a better roll, so just leave it alone.
Yeah, you'll start taking it from him.
10.
All right, red. Can only move 2. So he actually cannot he cannot get kicked out of this lane. He doesn't have the
He
ability.
just physically doesn't have enough.
Yeah, he doesn't have the
Okay.
ability. So he's going to do that maybe because he has to make an animal handling check, but there's no way he fails. It's really low. He has really good endurance. He has no power, but he has really good stamina and really good endurance. So he passes that. His check will go up next time, but he makes it out. Now it is you, sir. And you really can't get forced out here. You only have 2 moves to go to get out. So you've got free reign here pretty much.
Does it reset my getting pushed out? Because I only have 1 more space for my previous turn before I got pushed out. But does it like refresh the push out spaces?
Yeah, for the sake of, for each turn, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since I ended a turn in the turn,
yes.
okay.
Yes. Yeah. You if you go more than 4 now, then you'll have to start moving out. But once you make it to the straightaway though, you're pretty much golden. So
but now I can just 1, 2, 3, I'm in the straight.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm just going to take my other 3 and keep her going.
All right. You can gallop, or you want to gallop for an extra 2, or you want to hold on to him?
That was a good turn, so I will gallop.
Okay. All right, and then Green, who is way back here and probably not going to catch up, but you never know. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's fine. That is his last gallop before he starts to make checks. And let me tell you, his stamina is not, or his endurance, not very good. All right, let's roll again. You've passed 1 lap. You're in the lead, heading into the 2nd lap out of 3.
Much better.
There it is.
We are in the double digits.
Woo!
All right, so that's what, 17 total for you? 17,
If the inner lane is +3, then yes.
Yes. Green also is in the inner lane, but does not get quite the roll you do. Red. Yep, all right. 0.2. All right. All right, yep, you'll start. Go for it.
Take that lead and run with it.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, not in the turn yet. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Ending in the turn.
Ending in the turn. Okay. Blue has 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. If he makes his check, no way he won't. Yeah, very good. Again, they start out real low and then they compound. Red 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. He's fine. Green. One, 2. 1, 2. He's pushed out. 1, 2. If he makes this check, which he actually might fail this check. Nope, he critted. There's no such thing as crits in skill checks, but still, we think that there are.
Popular house rule.
Yeah, I don't follow it, but all right.
I agree. You shouldn't.
No. All right.
Mine's a 5.3 on the next one.
Oh, that was your initiative roll. Okay, great.
Unfortunately.
I'm actually I'm just a firm believer in like not even calling for rolls if you don't think they're necessary. Whether it be there's no way you could fail or there's no way you can succeed.
Yeah.
I know people love their hilarious stories of haha, I somehow seduced a god, but
I love you seduced a dragon. Guess what? You're part of their horde now. You just lost your character. Sorry.
You seduced a dragon, and they like to be on top. Hand me your character sheet. Why? Death by snoo snoo.
Snoo snoo. All right. Yes.
correct?
Almost everyone, Chase, you rolled low. Almost everyone rolled worse. Except for
Hey.
Green. Green gets to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
One I don't care about.
Yeah. Probably won't either. Yeah, he actually failed, so he's gonna go back 2. He can't. He can't.
He's doing his best.
He just can't. You hear
He's
him trying to urge his horses on, and they're just not having it.
I feel like he's the bad trainer from Pokemon that's just like, if you're not strong, then you don't deserve to be in my party. So just yelling at his horses the entire time.
Well, you get to go now, even with that low roll.
Okay, then I will 1, 2, 3, and then 1. I'm still in the turn, so it will. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then that's 1 from my first one. Since I'm coming out of the turn, can I go one more, or will it force me to the next
It'll
one?
force you to the next one for 1, and let's say that you
Okay.
have to go 1 more, and then you can start. Like you'd have to go 1 more straight away.
Okay, so I have to finish. Okay, that's fine. Then I'll just start the next turn straight away. Okay.
You don't want to gallop? Not that you need to.
I'm gonna hold on to it for now.
Okay.
Chill.
I mean, okay, but here, you haven't used the gallop in a minute, right?
I haven't gone only 3 in a turn to regain a gallop, so I'm just holding on to my last one for dire straits, but I'm chilling at the moment.
Well, remember, you can still gallop after you run out of them. You just have to start making animal handling checks.
I'm not going to unless
That's fine. I just want to say, for your guys' benefit, the reason they're having to make checks is because they've run out of gallop uses. And when they do that, they have to make animal handling checks. So it's not that they can't, it's just it increasingly becomes more difficult to do so.
Han is just showing himself, is just showing us how he's the superior charioteer here.
Yeah. 1,
So-
2, 3.
I also got to read the rules before this, so
Right.
and then we changed them.
And then we changed them to make it faster.
I was just curious because, like, so if you have 1 gallop left, right?
6, he'll gallop.
1 free gallop left. Yes.
1 free gallop, right? But if you don't do a gallop, the second one you regain 1, right?
No, he has to
I'm
only
waiting.
move 3.
What's that?
Yeah, I have to only whenever I get to go 3 and then 3, it's so if I only took the 3, which is my movement speed, and the other 3 is basically like a dash. If I don't dash, then I get to regain a gallop because my horses get a moment to rest.
Okay, my bad. Okay, I'm picking up what's going on now.
Okay.
And I'm saving my last free gallop for getting into a sticky
Fine.
turn because these turns are a little weird.
Yeah, they are wonky. All right.
I'll be
That
right back,
is
guys.
that
I got
turn.
my boy.
Roll initiative again. Ooh. Well, that
Okay.
sucks for you.
13.2.
13.2. Very good. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. That's not bad for him. Unfortunately, he's only got a power of 2. Not of many. 23.3. And then yours was 13.2. Okay. Red is going to get to go. He's going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. And then he's going to roll to see if he can go anymore. And I think that he will. 1, 2. Yes, because he's got good endurance. So he gets to go. He does pull ahead of you on that one. But it's your turn. So you'll almost, unless you decide not to, you'll take it
1,
back.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then hold on, let me do some quick arithmetic. No, I don't love that. I will remain here.
Okay. All right. Then we go to Green, who is no way really that he can continue. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If he passes this, and he does. Holy crap! Can't believe it.
Poor Green.
Yeah, he has 1 more endurance in him essentially, and then he's done. His next animal handling check will be at 20.
Oof.
And then blue to finish us off. We'll go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll try to gallop. He's got a much better chance. Just makes it for 1, 2. So he is coming on your heels here. But you've got plenty of sprint.
I got fuel in the tank.
Yeah, you got fuel in the tank. These guys are pushing to catch up to you. All right. Let's roll that initiative again.
Yep. We will take the 23.3.
Yeah. Yeah. Party goo. They're all rolling high too, and there's
There
just...
is no in between. It is
No.
crit or abysmal.
Okay, red did not roll high. All right, yep, you'll go. Go for it.
All right, so that'll be 1, 2, 3. Just entered the turn, so we'll 1, 2, 3, and then I will hold my gallop because that will start forcing me to the outside.
It will. All right, and then green will go 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we'll try to make the check.
It's so sad.
Passed.
He
I
passed
can't
the
believe
20?
I can't believe that. He passed.
I mean, he's not out of it.
He's not.
Off.
I mean, yeah. Well,
He's just not in it.
he's not in it either. All right. Blue is, however, in. He's gonna go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then he will try to sprint ahead. And will make it, and he will go 1, 2. So he is neck and neck with you, but on the outside.
Yeah.
And going up in difficulty for him. Getting up there. All right. Last one up is red. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty low check here. Let's see. Yep. 5, 6. And increasing. All right. Initiative. Blue. Not good.
All right, that's going to be a 10.3.
Okay. Green. Wow. You're gonna be okay with that, I think, unless someone... Well, 10.3. You get to go.
Nice.
Red got a 9.3.
All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then, hold on. I will gallop.
Yes. Okay.
Get my extra 2.
Gotcha. All right. You'll start making checks now, if you do it anymore. But you're at the lowest level, and you're in the lead in lap 2. So I think you got it unlocked there. Red will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and will make a check to try and go further. Will pass it. Their animal handling checks are doing well. And he will go 1, 2, increasing that to 14. Blue 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's plenty. He was on the second lane, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He will make a check to go forward to try and catch up with you. How
are y'all's pockets feeling?
Will just make it. And his going up. I don't think anyone failed.
Dusting these fools.
You got this.
Well, they've been racking up the exhaustion points this entire race, and I have yet to do so. So I'm not.
That's right. This is the final lap, right?
I just started my final lap.
Yeah, he started.
Yes.
All right, roll the initiative.
You suck, Green. Just go home.
I mean, 9.3. Maybe they'll do bad again. As long as blue doesn't go first, I don't care.
Fair enough.
Jacob's face says blue goes first.
Yeah, that's the DM look. Like,
Blue doesn't go first, but he does go second. Red goes first. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll try and make a roll, but it's not looking good for him. Wow, he made it. Wow.
I mean, you can have that too and still be behind me. That's fine.
Yeah, I just think it's awesome. Like his power's only 2, There was no reason he should be in this race. Green's power is also 2, but I put them there for a reason, and he has just not failed a check. He has just not failed a check. His next DC will be 16, and he's just keeping up. Yeah, now Blue will go.
Okay.
Blue will go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we'll try to dash. Will make it. His next check will be at DC 21, but he has the inside lane.
He's actually fine where he's at. I'm not upset with that.
Oh, good. It's your turn, so go for it.
1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And on the turn, I cannot cut in, correct?
No.
So if I tried to pass on the turn, okay.
Yeah, you'd have to go to the out.
Do it.
Hold on, I'm doing math. Yeah, I'll gallop.
Okay. Roll me an animal handling check. Actually, you don't even really have to, but I guess for shits and giggles.
I crit failed.
You still passed, so you're
Hey, we got that out of the way for my initiative.
Yeah,
We
let's
take
say,
those.
glad we got that one out of the way.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
All right, so then I will 1, 2.
Frickin' roll 20.
That would not pass on the next one, but it will this time. All right, so you are able to pass him. Go ahead. Oh no, I'm sorry. Green, poor Green. See if you can lap. I'll give you an extra 100 gold if you can lap. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. 1, 2,
No, he said
3,
it. Check the VOD.
4.
Yeah, that's right.
I never finished it. Nope. That's where he stays. All right. Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Right, we
you
got that one out of the way.
Oh,
There
you
we
got
go.
lucky.
There we
Oh,
go.
15.3.
it was gonna be an 18, and it rolled over to just a
Like
4.
a good boy. Now play dead.
And red B.
I'm very excited by this. Ranshaw's just standing there impassively.
Yeah. All right, Mon. Go.
Nice. All right, so
Stupid.
1, 2, 3, and then start my straight.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. I'm not gonna. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. He does still have to try and get around me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make him earn the animal handling
Okay.
check here.
Okay.
I believe I heard him say DC 21, which
Yeah.
I don't know what his animal handling check is, but
Yeah, I've been given a lot of free information this race. Not that I'm
Yeah.
gonna complain.
You have. I was trying to let you see if you wanted to try and make animal handling checks like in the stable, but you don't need it. So 18. Oh wait, no, 16, and he will not pass. You shall not pass. Red's pretty much done at this point. Red has run out of steam. Blue has a chance. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's see what he do on the animal handling. No, he will not. That's you can see him like trying to chide them a little bit further, and they're resisting him. They just won't go. Green is up. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not even gonna attempt the check because it'll kick him to the outside lane. So he's just gonna remain there. All right, roll the initiative. Probably not for the last time, but for close.
this is very exciting.
3.
Especially when you're listening to the F-Zero soundtrack. This is a lot
Are
more
you listening to
exciting.
the F-Zero soundtrack?
Got Mute City.
Couple bangers on there. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So 7.3. All right. Well, red will go first. He'll go 1, 2, 1, 2. And we'll attempt. No, he will stay there. Blue is gonna go 1,
Yeah,
2.
that was a pretty bad roll.
Yeah, 3, 1, 2, 3, and he will attempt a DC 21. No, he will not make it. And then green will go next. Wow, I don't know why I'm rolling. Yeah, he won't make the animal handling check, so he'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's almost on the last lap. All right, Mon, you're up.
All right, so I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I will go ahead and do the animal handling for the cut-in to start the turn.
You don't even need. Yeah. Okay, go for it.
This was my 6, where I am currently.
Yes. Okay, I understand. Roll.
I think that'll do it.
Beautiful. All right. This might be the last lap. It might come down to who gets the initiative. Oh, it's not looking good for blue.
Hiya. 11.3.
Wow. You both got 11.3s. But because you're ahead.
But I'm ahead.
You're
nice.
ahead.
Okay.
Yep. That was the rule I made. So I think you'll have it. But green's gonna go first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, great initiative. Nothing else. That was so close. Nothing else great, but initiative.
Does the DC only get higher if you beat it?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. 18, red will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll attempt. That one will not pass. All right, Mon, you're up.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2 for my 6. I am now in this lane.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, he'll go 1, 2, 3, and then 1. He's gonna have to get pushed out if he. Yeah. I think I'm chilling, so I'm gonna not gallop.
Okay. Yep, he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh.
Well, that's his third on the turn though, so he
you're
has
right,
one more
yes.
forward.
Yeah, that was not the original. Yeah, I'm still trying. Every once in a while I slip back to who I meant to play the game, but now we are okay. So that's 4, 5, 6. Oh, he wants to. Let's see if he makes it.
He's got to.
He has to. He does not make it. It's going to come down to the initiative. It is going to come down to the initiative.
Milo's grabbing
1,
onto
2,
whoever's
3,
next
4,
one.
5. Oh my god. Okay.
He can't make it on his turn unless
if he goes
makes the handling.
first and he makes the animal. So if he goes first, he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then he will. If he makes the animal handling check, he'll be able to cross. So it comes down to this: Blue's initiative.
I rolled a 12.
Yeah, you beat him.
14.2. All right, it's a done deal then.
It's a done deal then.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that is it. Well done.
Did you see that orc?
Looks like we
Yes.
doubled our money.
Yeah.
Ranshaw's
Yeah.
just standing there going, "Hooray!" like Troopy, the Tex Avery character.
Excuse me, Ranshaw. You bet 100. You get your 100
did.
back plus 200.
Oh yeah.
Everyone else bet 50, I think, or who bet 25?
I bet 25.
Okay, so you'll get your 25 back plus 50. And then Melvin or Milo and Auric, you guys will get your 50 back plus 100 for passing.
So blue makes their final push to try and corner around me on the outside.
Around the outside.
And then-
around the outside.
Yeah, kind of like the Trailer Park Girls. And then
Nice.
Mon hears him approaching on the outside, looks back, and is just like, no. Gives it one last little, I don't know, like flick of the reins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trick.
And then we just cruise right out of that corner into the straightaway. And then as soon as he crosses the green, not sand, stone
Thing.
he just kind of opens his arms out and just soaks in
The victory.
the feeling that he hasn't felt in so long.
And when you do that, Mon, suddenly you're not at the Coasthold Casino. You're getting pictures of a different arena, a much larger arena, with individuals jumping and cheering out of their chairs and cheering for you. There are also statues in this arena, but they're much different. They're not of two kings and a goddess. They're of champions. It seems like there's a man holding a sword and wearing a laurel. There's one of a what you imagine as a snake individual. It's a humanoid with a snake head that is holding up a scepter. And it's very different. You're having a hard time keeping yourself rooted in this moment as these vivid memories come back to you.
Is he having any memories of walking through a field, running his hands through grain?
No, he's not Gladiator, unfortunately.
Okay.
They're making a second. No, sorry, no. Gotta stay focused. They. You put F0. All right, in the chat. All right.
I did.
So, Chase, you bring the chariots back in, and the pilot is just there smiling and clapping you on the, well, he's not clapping. He's beating his arm because his broken. He says, "Well done, man. They don't even look like they've broken a sweat. They could go another heat."
They're good horses. They didn't need to push themselves too terribly hard.
Well, they had a good driver. Well done. I'm sure. I think the others underestimated you.
Well, hopefully they didn't underestimate the coin in my pocket.
As he kind of smirks at that, and the owner of the horses, the lady whom you met the day before, comes down. She says, or 2 days before, comes clapping on her hand, and she says, "I see that our faith in you is well placed. What is your name, by the way? We never even caught it."
I do a little curtsy bow. You can't see my hand. And then I say, "My name is Kish, Monkish."
She says, "Pleasure to meet you, Monkish." Oh, crap. Hold on. Disappointed with myself. I had a... Gotta get this off. You guys can't see this. Well, I mean,
nope.
You, the audience, can see this because it'll have come out by now, but...
We didn't do a sound check in the beginning.
I checked it. We're fine. I promise. I'm not letting that happen again.
I love that you waited this long.
Yeah, no, I checked.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
So, she says, "A pleasure to meet you," and holds out her hand to kind of shake your outstretched, even though it was kind of a curtsy. She offers her hand. "I am Countess Eastwick, Gloria Eastwick. If I were to need another driver while young D'Artagnan here heals, where might I find you?"
I may be out on a job. I am currently employed by another individual. But if I do have the time, you can find me at the Old Coast Inn.
She says, "Lovely, I'm sure." And there may not be another race for quite a long time. Chariot racing is just not as popular here as it is in Am. But if we do happen to have a need and young D'Artagnan is unavailable, I shall send for you. I'm quite impressed. Well done.
It would be my pleasure.
She says, "Indeed." Well, as promised, and she holds out a small chest. And she says, as promised, the purse was 2,500 gold, and you earned 10%. She hands it to you. So you increase your wealth by 250 gold pieces for winning.
Suppose I will.
And she says, "I must be off. Good day to you once again, Mon. Hopefully we shall cross paths again."
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Sorry, I was doing math
No,
in my
you're good. All right. We'll say you guys go back to the Old Coast Inn for the day. We'll call that the end of day 6.
Well, you raced very well, Monkish. I honestly thought I was going to lose my money. Instead, I have more money. So, thank you.
Thank you
Excellent.
for believing in me. It's been quite a while. I had literally forgotten what that felt like.
At the end there, you look like you were somewhere else. I assume somewhere deep in your mind. I hope this helps you remember who you once were.
It's a step in the direction, and yes, I had an unbelievably nostalgic feeling being the victor.
Well, not enough cheerful feelings, I think, for the day. I'm going to room.
Fair enough, my friend.
You guys get some rest. The next day comes about, so we're on day 7. What do you do?
All right. Waking up bright, early, green.
Green.
Oh, what a wonderful day. Yesterday was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? Quite exciting. I wonder if Milo is awake. I
It's
should go
at this
check.
point you realize that you're talking to yourself very loudly at about 3 a.m. and Auric is right next to you.
Can't you let a fella sleep?
Who has time to sleep when there's so much life to experience? Well, do whatever you wish. I'm going to see if Milo's awake.
Way too early. Be this energetic.
Just ignoring you completely, go over to Milo's room. Don, 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 don.
Milo!
Milo!
Milo, someone's knocking on our door.
Go check it.
I get out of bed, very vengeful-like. Open the door.
Isn't it a fantastic morning?
I mean, what time is it?
I haven't a clue. I just know I finished my trance and I feel right as rain. I was wondering if
Who
Milo
is
was
it?
Milo! Excellent!
I just leave the door open and walk back to my bed and crawl back in it.
I was wondering.
What?
I believe that the credentials from the Duke should have arrived, and I thought that you had some business in the Hall of Records along with myself, and I thought that we could go together.
We can.
Fantastic!
After I get a long rest.
Oh, right, I forgot. You more mortal races require a tad more winks during the night, I suppose. I'll go keep myself busy in some other fashion. But you just let me know as soon as you're ready. Toodles! And I will return to my room and do somehow aggressively cheerful yoga.
I get out of bed and
For
shut
the next
door.
4 hours.
I get out of bed and shut the door since he didn't shut it on his way
Oh, yeah,
out.
I didn't shut it. No, I just turned right back around, went back into my room.
I
Um,
should eventually wake it up though.
Give me a acrobatics check or acrobatics or athletics check. I'll let you choose, which I'm sure you'll choose acrobatics.
All right. Yes, I will. Let's see here. Not bad. That's going to be a total of 18.
18. Hey, or give me a constitution check, and it has to be 18.
No.
This is kind of silly.
12.
12.
1 point.
So
Oh, no.
with aggressive yoga going on behind you, you are unable to get a long rest. For the next 4, you're unable to go back to sleep for the next 4 hours. It isn't until
I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't know he would do this.
Until,
Tis Jacob.
yeah.
I thought-
It isn't until Ranshaw leaves that you're able to try and roll over and get a few more hours of sleep. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and Ranshaw, you're like, all right, 4 hours. Ha ha! It's now time.
I can see the sun now. Surely they're awake now.
Ulrich be sleeping
The sun's
in bed
awake,
today.
so I'm awake.
Do you want to build a snowman? Yep. So it's 7 o'clock. The sun's coming up. Your aggressive yoga has finished.
Well, I think I could go for a spot of breakfast. I'll head on down and see what the innkeeper has available before I go and see if Milo's ready to go.
Okay. It's the normal meal. You get the idea that variety is not really the spice of life in the Old Coast Inn. It is more of just, hey, what can I get for a good value and consistently? There does happen to be some eggs available downstairs, but mostly it is still dried meats and fresh bread. Actually,
Is there any bacon?
there's not bacon today. No, it was eggs.
Okay.
No bacon.
Looks delicious. Just tucking to my breakfast, waiting to see if Milo will come down while I'm eating. And
Okay.
if he doesn't, I will be going back upstairs.
I wake up to the sound of stuff going on in the outside the room and
Yes.
in the inn, and I'm like, all right, I'm up. All right, I'm gonna go downstairs.
Okay. You go downstairs and you see Ranshaw just absolutely scarfing down his breakfast, with no hesitancy and no chill whatsoever.
Ranshaw, save me some.
There's plenty for everybody. Got to fuel the body, don't you know?
You grab a plate and some fresh water and sit down next to him and start eating. Not nearly with as much enthusiasm, but certainly with a hunger. Milo, at what point do you decide to brave the downstairs?
Milo is not a morning person whatsoever. So he's up. He's trying to decide, is it all worth it right now?
He's just staring at the ceiling.
Yes. I'm going through my head right now. And he kind of gets up and makes his way out. Very slow, kind of still half asleep, rubbing the eye, grabbing whatever is out on the table, putting it on plates.
Okay. So
Excellent, you did wake up.
Eats very slowly.
You know what I find helps if you're feeling tired? Some morning yoga exercises. Really helps wake up the brain.
I'm pretty sure you do that when you're not feeling tired.
Well, I mean, there's never not a good time for yoga.
Now, okay. What did you want? I'm sorry. I'm here.
As I recall, you had some business with the Hall of Records Justice. I don't remember the exact name of the building, but you had some research you wanted to do. I had some research I wanted to do, and the Duke indicated that he would help us get the credentials we need to get in there. And I believe he said it should only have taken a couple of days. I know that I haven't checked with the innkeeper, or perhaps down in the cellar. I don't remember where we're supposed to go to get said credentials. But surely they must be available by now, and I thought that we could just go together. It's always more fun to do these things with a friend.
What season is this?
Spring, my friend, spring! The time of life and renewal.
Copy. Okay. Yeah, we can let's do this.
Bully! All right, let's go. And it just immediately head on over to the to talk with the innkeeper. Is there any chance that some papers or credentials were left for the care of myself and my friend Milo here?
He says, from our mutual friend? No, I'm sorry, I haven't received anything.
Very good. I guess I'll just go try and ask him myself. Start heading downstairs to the cellar.
Okay. Milo, give me an intelligence check.
Where is that? Okay. 12.
Okay. Nope. You don't happen to remember anything. Go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
Right. You're going to approach the cask that they've used as the secret entrance or exit or whatever. Just start going, hello! Any chance that those credentials are ready? Just...
How long do you wait there?
I'm feeling pretty patient, so I'll give them a solid 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Nope.
I wonder if he sent those credentials on ahead to the hall itself. To the hall!
Milo hasn't moved from the table.
As I'm striding past, I'm like, as I'm striding past, come, Milo!
Once you walk out the door, then I realize, okay, now we're actually making movement, and take a couple last bites and then walk.
I'm pretty sure Mon was there when he said he would send the credentials there, so he's just sitting there.
I wrote it down, but
just
since
sitting
you
there
made
like
me do a check on it, I figured I'd just
he's just
about
letting him go. Just
I'm usually good about taking notes. Apparently, I completely forgot to notate how I would get the credentials.
Yeah.
Just, woo!
Oh well.
Cool.
So so you guys go to City Hall, which is in the Central District. There's the legal sector in the Durandal District, and then City Hall is in the government sector of the Central District. So you guys head to the City Hall first, and there's a it is open by the time you guys get there. It's about 7:20, 7:24, 7:30. By the time you guys get there, and a middle-aged, kind of smaller. It's a human, but he's below average in height, and he's kind of middle-aged. And he says, "Oh, hello there. Can I help you?"
Yes. My name is Ranshal Cathil, and I was wondering if perhaps you have something on record as to me having the appropriate credentials to enter here and do some research.
I can see for you. And who is it that would have given you permission?
Yes, it would have been Duke Margrave.
Oh, by all means, give me one moment. And he steps. He's below average, and then he takes a step down somehow, and you guys realize he was standing on a box. The man is only 5 foot tall.
Still tall.
Still tall. But to our
some dwarven heritage.
Yeah. To our friend here, he's much, to your surprise, much smaller. He's much smaller than most humans you come across, especially male. And he goes, and then he takes a step up onto another one and starts looking through a like a cubby hole. And he says, Margrave papers. And he only has to look through 2 papers. And he says, yes. And what was your name? Rinchy?
Ranshaw Cathil.
Ranshaw. Yes, I see that. And you, my furry friend, would you happen to be Milo?
Kind of tucked behind Renshaw's legs, looks around because the shyness comes back when it's new people. Yes, that's fine. That's me.
That's
Milo.
you, me, Milo. Milo, I'm so sorry. My bad. And he slides back in.
Good one.
Thank you. Yes.
Mon's still at the end, but he just gets a feeling of sudden hate.
Mon takes 1 point of psychic damage and doesn't know why.
He says, yes, so according to the good Duke, and he steps back up onto a stool, raising himself up about 8 inches, and he says, according to our good Duke, I am to give you access to the Hall of Records downstairs where we store them. What is there an area that you are looking for? A date, census records, birth records, tax records? What are we looking for?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't
That's
know
quite a
about
bit, my friend.
oh, okay.
But I'm unsure of what my friend Milo would be looking for. I, however, am more interested in records that would have been put in place at least 100 years ago. I believe that was when the peninsula reappeared. Looking specifically for certain types of unusual activity, especially unusual weather patterns along the peninsula. And I go on to detail. So you know what I'm looking for. I detail the particular weather patterns that would coincide with such a being being present for an extended period of time.
He says, we can attempt. I'm afraid that most of the records here are of an administrative nature. We have census records, we have birth rates, we have tax records, but most of that is post the formation of the kingdom. There's very few records dating back to the 100 years ago. Most of that is recorded in the family histories of those who were in power. But we can go back and we can try. I'm afraid. Let me think where we can start. And he goes back. He looks at what you can only imagine is probably not the Dewey Decimal System, but certainly how they've got things stored. And he says, we have crop return. We have the tax records for the agricultural sector might have some insight as to their returns, their yields. I don't know if you'd be able to find any individuals, but maybe it would narrow down your search to a certain date period.
If it helps, there is one other piece of information I feel comfortable sharing at this time. Around that time, if there's anybody, I don't know why they would be necessarily on a census record. I don't believe the individual intended to be registered as a citizen of Coasthold or anything. Okay. But if there's anything in the records back then for an individual by the name of Asterix.
Give me an insight check.
Me? Sure. Let's see here. Oh. Fudge me. Well, that's only a 5 because I rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
I'm feeling so trusting and optimistic today.
He squints for a second, but then you kind of see him kind of just like kind of give like a little head nod as if he just shook something off, but you can't possibly know what.
Would I be able to pick up anything?
You know what? Go ahead. I'll let you attempt. But go ahead and make it at disadvantage since you don't have the backstory information that Andrew has.
Just seeing if something just. There is no possible way.
20 and a 1.
Double one.
Double
Ooh.
snake eyes with a
Ooh.
D20.
The
No,
dice have decided no, we don't get to know anything.
you unfortunately don't get a good insight onto him because you're actually still just peeking at him between Ranshaw's legs.
Being too shy.
Too shy to understand. But he kind of just shakes it off. He goes, okay, asterisk. If he's not on the census records, I'm afraid he's not a citizen. He wouldn't have been taxed, is what you seem to be suggesting.
I would imagine so. I'll admit I'm not entirely certain what his goals would have been when he first came here. I just know that perhaps he did register. I don't know. It just seems unlikely.
And it seems unlikely. And are you sure he was in Coasthold, or would he have perhaps been in one of the other regions dominated by Penimbara or Northcliffe?
It's a possibility. I just came here first.
I see.
But I just know that he's somewhere on the Penimbara Peninsula.
The
Antimbara
Antimbara,
Peninsula.
yes.
My apologies.
It's okay.
Still new to the area.
Yes.
The Capybara Peninsula.
He says, well, I'm afraid since we don't have a name, I mean, we have a name, but if it wouldn't have been taxed or on a census and he wasn't born here, then I'm afraid there's not much our records will be able to do. We can still attempt to check weather or crop yields to gain an understanding of a potential date. But unless he made a name for himself as a part of the city, the only thing I can think to check is the family histories, and we don't hold those. You'd have to discuss it with the families, of course.
Well, other than Duke Margrave, I assume he would be part of one of the noble families.
No, Duke Margrave was his family was influential, but I mean he's oh no, yes, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Yes, Duke Margrave's family was the de facto leaders of I think I had Penimbara. No, Northcliffe. His family was of the de facto head of Northcliffe before the kingdom was founded. He comes from a proud lineage. Perhaps if you were to ask the name Asterix with him, perhaps he would know more, but I can let you see the weather patterns. I'm afraid that's the only thoughts I have at the moment. What about you, my friend? What about you, Milo? Is there anything that I can help you with?
To be honest with you, most of the things he's kind of said sound almost similar to what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a specific person, but
Okay.
History, weather.
History. Yes, history of what exactly?
The reappearance, essentially.
Yes.
The start of when they came back.
I understand. That's quite a mystery. Did you know that when it came back, most people didn't even realize it was gone?
And that's
yes.
the interesting part.
It is. I'm afraid that we don't hold any research here. However, I can direct you to an individual. A few decades ago, a baron, one of the country barons, attempted as a part of as requested by the king, he attempted research in this area. King Durandal requested that he begin this research 65 years ago. He was just a young lad at that time. He was a young baron in his 20s, and he devoted his life to that research. He spent well over 40 years researching it. Unfortunately, he died a couple years ago, but I'm certain that he left notes. I know there are copies of them in the academy. Perhaps his town, or not his town home. As far as I know, the family no longer maintains a town home, but his manor and in his fiefdom, perhaps they have original notes left over. His name was Baron Cartago, and it was 4 decades of research And it ended. Oh gosh, let me think. He died 15-ish years ago. 15, yeah, I think it was 15 winters ago. But so as far as I know, no one's taken up the research since he left, but I'm sure his family would have notes.
You happen to know specifically the research?
I don't. I've never read the notes myself. I'm just a humble clerk, and while I've held this position for most of my life, and I've been honored to do so, I just overhear things. I'm not actually privy to them.
And you're saying that these notes are in the academy here or from his home city?
I know that after his passing, his widow offered much of his research to the academy for safekeeping. But there was I never knew if it was all of it, or maybe they kept some of it. Maybe they made copies. Unfortunately, I don't know for sure. I know that the academy would be probably the best place to start. But if for whatever reason you can't gain access there, but of course if you have Duke Margrave in your corner, I'm sure he would be able to, potentially get you in there. But if you can't for whatever reason, I don't want to speak for our good Duke. That perhaps the estate of the former Baron Kartoga would have notes that maybe weren't given to the academy when he passed, or copies of them, or even the originals. I don't know. I just don't want you to leave empty-handed. I just want you to have all the information. Yes.
Well, I definitely appreciate being forthright with all of that.
Of course. So why don't we go back there, and I can direct you to the tax section, specifically dealing with crop yields, and perhaps we can get you an idea of the weather over the last 80 years or so, Mr. Ranshaw, and we'll go back there. How does that sound?
Sounds like a fantastic idea.
Good. And will you be joining us, Milo?
Why not? I can help.
Okay. Both of you give me investigation checks.
Okay, that's much better on the die. Then again, that's a 15 total.
10.
10. Okay. It takes you guys 3 days.
Okay.
You go back to the inn, and you come back a couple times, just trying to kind of view through the tax records of the last 80 years. And that is just when the kingdom started. So you're kind of hoping that it's during that period and not during the time period before the kingdom was officially established. But as you are meticulously combing through the tax records of the rural areas, the farming areas, and the grain storages and whatnot, you get an idea. And I apologize, Andrew, would you please, just so I don't have to go back through my notes on your backstory, would you whisper?
Sure.
Whisper the typing, the type I would be looking for.
Yep, not a problem.
Oh man, it said something.
So while we're waiting, I apologize to you guys. I'm not nearly as prepared as I would like to be. Work was very busy this week. Roxy had to use my computer last night, and then I was on. I left work late, and I got home, and she was like, "Here's the baby. I'm taking the other two to the pool." And I was like, "Cool." So I didn't get to start prepping for tonight until 45 minutes before we got on. So it's been. I apologize. I'm a little bit less prepared as I'd like to be.
I mean,
Apparently, I forgot to put it in the actual backstory, but I know it. I just gotta find it.
I'm already almost 1,000 there, so I can't complain.
Let's see.
I will take advantage of your gold oversights.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Oh, did you put it in here? Okay. You DnD bronze. Okay. Okay.
Way to say the quiet part out loud.
No one heard me. Don't worry about it. No one listens. No one listens to anything I say anyway, right?
Perhaps.
Okay. So what you are able to garner is that in the area around Penimbara, one of the more there's a area that is fairly consistently taxed for grain, and that 78 years ago there was a drop in the tax records for how much they were able to get. And when you ask the clerk why this might have been, he says, I'm afraid that we don't know the specific reasons why. That area is controlled by the Penimbara, and we just kind of get copies from them. Otherwise, if we stored detailed happenings like that for the whole kingdom, this room would be much, much, much more full. I do know that there's more. If you were to go to the Penimbara City Hall, there would be more details of that. So, for example, here, and he shows you kind of not just the numbers, but a brief notations of like kind of famine or notes. It's by no means standardized, but there are notes kind of pinned to each tax records for the areas around Coasthold, but none of those exist for the areas around Northcliffe or Penimbara.
Gotcha.
And so he says, for example, there'd be more details like these for the lands around Penimbara at the Penimbara City Hall. So if you wanted to try and track that down, you'd probably have to go there.
All right. Now you said that this was after 3 days is when we discover all this.
Yes, this is day 3. It takes you a while to get back, so yes.
So 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. All right. Just want to make sure. Thanks for all your help, man. Really do appreciate it. And keeping track of this is a real pain in the rear.
It is worth every second of it, though. I have to admit, your Ranshaw might be the thing I look forward to most in these sessions. I enjoy it.
Oh, I'm glad.
They are so different that it's like, I don't want to say jarring, but jarring.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a bit of, especially when I go from winter to spring, there's an emotional whiplash on that one.
Milo, you assist him with this. All right, so we'll say that takes you guys 3 days. We're on day 10, essentially. We'll just...
Real quick, I just want to interject. In the middle of those 3 days, back when I was in Summer Aspect, I have in my notes that that's when the Moonlight Apothecary should have had the order in.
Yes.
Like would we have been able to get that taken care of? Just
no,
real quick?
we'll come back to that.
Okay, gotcha. We'll circle back to it.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that. In the meantime,
Time jumps.
In the meantime, Ara, after they leave on the 7th day, so they're, after they leave, we're jumping back. A guard comes in. A member of the Coastal Guard comes in.
Right.
And he looks around for a second, and then he spots you, and he says, Are you Ara?
Yes, sir. I am Arha.
Good. I want to make sure.
Who might you be?
My name is Sergeant Rallus.
All right.
I was sent here by Captain Hayfield. Do you remember him?
I do.
Okay, this is good. Sergeant Rallus is not what you would expect for a guard. He's actually a tiefling. You see, you're if it wasn't for the Coasthold guard uniform, you'd think that he was something else, just with the bias around tieflings. He's a tiefling male. You suspect in his mid-30s, with orange tinted skin, and kind of rolled horns. He says to you, "I'm Sergeant Rowless. I'm aide to Captain Hayfield. He sent me to collect you if you are free today."
I am free today.
Wonderful, wonderful. Would you follow me then, sir?
Yes. Would I, if I was to choose someone to accompany me, would they be able to?
I don't see why not. I wasn't given specific directions.
Alrighty. I'm assuming Josh is busy right now.
Josh, are you here? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that he's messing with his kid.
Okay.
My nephew. Your nephew. Yeah, I'll say that he follows you, and we'll catch him up in a minute.
Okay, I look over at Oric, and say, Oric, do you want to go with me with this summons?
In his ridiculous accent, he says, "If you'd like." And he stands up and goes with you. He brings you to the King's Watch guard post, which is only about 10 minutes away. It's the first guard post you come to in the Central District, strategically placed to guard the entrance from the old coast road through the Grainway, or the low passage to the Grainway. And he brings you up to see Captain Hayfield. And Captain Hayfield's sitting at his desk, kind of perusing through documents. And as he walks in, he says, "Ah, good. Aura, I'm glad. And you are," and he greets Oric. He says, "Good.
How are
Please.
you, Captain Hayfield?"
I'm good, my friend. Thank you. Please have a seat. I wanted to discuss things with you, if we could."
Okay.
Just checking through my notes to make sure I remember what I wanted to talk about here. Okay. And he says, I want to have a frank conversation with you, Aura, and I assume that it's okay in front of your companion here.
Absolutely.
This is good. I remember what you did a couple 10 days ago. It is always noble to look out for others who cannot look out for themselves, and you meted out a fair punishment in our eyes when you protected that young woman from that heinous act. Tell me, I need to understand better, what brings you to Coasthold?
I so happen to be here due to some word that I've gotten from intelligence from my previous group that I was with, that the murderer of my father might be in this area.
There's a lot to unpack there. You say your father was murdered.
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long ago was that?
It was a little over 5 years.
Oh, that's a terrible tragedy. I've never went through that myself, but I've known good friends, and, well, let's just say I wish you the best in finding him. Does he have 6 fingers? He says, "I wish you the best in finding him." What group were you a part of that would be able to give you intelligence on his whereabouts?
The Dragon Fangs.
Dragon Fangs. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with the Dragon Fangs. Is that a mercenary group?
It absolutely is.
I see. And what, they would just happen to come around information on a random murderer in Coasthold, or what happened with your father?
Well, when I was, just a little bit younger, so a little over 5 years, a sorcerer, I believe, showed up asking for information on a magic artifact that was supposedly hidden in the area. Of course, my father refused to help, and in shutting the door, apparently it upset this sorcerer, and he blasted a firebolt that blasted the door into my father and killed him.
A sorcerer. And you had intelligence that he came here. I've been captain of the guard for quite a long time. I've heard no tale of a sorcerer causing trouble in Coasthold. But if he is in fact here or anywhere in the region, that is concerning to me. We will keep our eyes open for him. Tell me, what will you do if you find him?
I will absolutely invoke my vengeance upon him.
Kill him.
Yes, sir.
Well, I can't say as I blame you, Ara. It certainly seems like he is deserving of a harsh sentence for a murder. Tell me, do all individuals who would cause such harm to others, are all of them deserving of death by your hand?
Not necessarily. As long as, because my oath is to vengeance. It doesn't necessarily mean that they die, but the vengeance shall be accomplished by me.
I see. Justice then.
Yes.
So perhaps if they didn't do it to you, then there might be room for mercy. But if it was done to you, then there can be no grace given.
I can agree to that.
I can't blame you. But I must caution you, my young friend. Justice and vengeance look very much the same, but there is a fine line between them. And the longer you stay dancing on that line, the easier it becomes to fall from righteous protector to something much darker.
I agree with you. One of the tenets that I follow is fight the greater evil. And then no mercy for the wicked. Ordinary foes might win my mercy, but my sworn enemies do not.
I see. Seems like we're reading that. You must practice that a lot. He says, I represent an organization that I know that we discussed slightly, the Order of the Gauntlet. And
yes,
while it, like I said, it does seem as if the individual you're discussing would warrant such a harsh punishment. If you were to join this organization, you must be very careful that you don't become the very thing that we are fighting. And he nods towards, or he gestures towards Sergeant Rowlis, and he says, I want you to accompany the sergeant today, if you have the ability. We've received word of a young ruffian group causing trouble for certain shops in the Southern District. And while we don't have a lot of manpower, I'm sending my trusted friend and aide to look into the matter. And I want you to accompany him just in case something goes wrong. Or do you have the ability to do that for the next day or two?
I am free for the next day or two for sure.
Okay, very good. Auric, if you'd like to join him too, I apologize we didn't get to talk much, but if you would like to join the sergeant, I would be okay with that if you are, Ralus. And Ralus just nods politely. So you guys, he says, very good. Well, I look forward to speaking with you more then, Ara, but for now I'll leave you in the capable hands of Sergeant Ralus, and he just without you leaving, without acknowledging, he just goes back to his paperwork and starts starts reading whatever he was reviewing on his parchments. Ralus takes you guys in. What I want you to do is give me a investigation check.
Which is you said investigation?
Investigation check, yes.
I rolled a 6. So 6.
Total, okay. You're not much of an assistant to the sergeant, who, for the next day, you guys go about kind of asking questions with some of the shopkeepers who have been harassed. And it seems that this group is made up mostly of teenagers. You've had several people tell you that. And unfortunately, you're not able to contribute much, but Sergeant Ralus, who has been with the guard for a couple years now, is able to kind of track down where these kids are hiding. And he says to you, before he goes in, he says, we don't have the ability to get back up. Are you able to watch my back in case things get bad?
I absolutely can watch your back.
He said, good. Don't draw your sword, no matter what.
I understand.
Good. And he continues walk, and as he's walking, he says, as we've been talking with shop owners, it's become very clear that these are not hardened criminals out for blood. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Good. There would be more role play to let you agree more heavily, but we're on a time crunch. So he says, good. We will try and talk them down first. We will see what we can do for them outside of just throwing them in Blackgate, where they won't change, but they'll just be reinforced down a wicked path. And he leads you to a location in kind of the lesser kept areas of the Southern District. And you find just a group of kids, about 6 or 7 of them, the youngest 12, the oldest at 17. And as they see you guys approaching, they start to kind of meander off, and Auric, who has gone around, kind of stands in their way and stops them. And they realize what's about to happen. And one of them, the 17-year-old, says, starts to mouth off a little bit. And Sergeant Ralus doesn't, start insulting or anything, but doesn't necessarily take any of his crap either. Just takes opportunities to de-escalate when he can. But the kid is just going to insult him. He's 17. He feels like he's a big shot. And he pulls out a short sword. And at first you start to go for your sword, but then you see Ralus kind of like tilt his head towards you a little bit, like side-eyeing you just to see what you'll do, and you remember his request. So you take your hand off of your sword and then just kind of bring your shield up front just in case. Ralus takes out, he has a sword, but rather than taking it out, he pulls out kind of a small bully club. And he says, and you see him warn the 17-year-old, and he says, this isn't the path you want to go down. The 17-year-old telegraphs from a mile away that he's going to take a swing at him with this short sword. And he does so. And within 4 moves, Ralus, who has disarmed him, hit him across the head, and he's down on the ground. And as he goes down, the other kids just scatter in all directions. Oric grabs a couple of them. And you grab one that comes past you. And Ralus just kind of goes over there and takes a knee right next to the kid he just disarmed, and he throws you the short sword that you're able to kind of grab while holding on to one of the younger kids. And he talks to the younger kids and he says, "Go find your friends. There's an orphanage 10 minutes that way that will give you guys food. There are other temples that can assist you. You don't need to steal in this city to get what you need. There are people out there willing to help you. Go find your friends and bring them there." And then he asks you and Oric to let them go. And they do, and they kind of take a couple steps as if they're afraid you're going to swat them again or something, and then they just bolt. He looks down at the 17-year-old who's kind of like holding his nose because he got elbowed in the nose. And he says, he tells the kid, "I know that you were trying to protect these kids. You got fight in you. That's good. But you're doing it the wrong way." And after a short conversation, he actually convinces the 17-year-old to join the guard. And you guys bring him back to Captain Hayfield. And Captain Hayfield treats him with respect, just like Sergeant Ralus does. And then he dismisses Sergeant Ralus to take him off, to get him signed up and get him into training. And Captain Hayfield says, "So, what did you learn with Sergeant Ralus?"
I learned to be patient and to read the situation before acting too hastily.
He has a Sergeant Ralus has been my aide for many years now. He's a smart man. He knows what it's like to be to have to work a little bit harder due to people's views of you, warranted or not. And he's come out better for that. And he reaches into his drawer and he hands you an insignia of a shield with a sword and with a gauntleted sword or fist holding a sword. And he says, "You are now a member of the Order of the Gauntlet. Understand what this signia means. The shield means you're a protector. You will watch over the betterment of all innocent civilians. The sword is the sword of retribution. Justice must be swift and it must be accurate. But understand this, the gauntlet holds the sword back. Vengeance is understandable, but it must be warranted. And your good judgment and discernment will be the difference between you being a tyrant and you being a sentinel. Do you understand?"
I understand, sir.
It's good. And he hands the insignia. He says, "From time to time, I'll reach out to you, and if you have questions, please reach out to me. The Order of the Gauntlet is not like most factions that you'll find on the Sword Coast. We're very much a brotherhood, a fraternity. So we will look forward to meeting you more. And Oric, I do apologize that we haven't gotten to talk more with you as well, but I welcome your friendship with our dear Ara here, and perhaps in the future you will find interest with our organization as well."
And this is the Order of the Gauntlet.
Yes, this is the Order of the Gauntlet. Yeah.
Okay. I suppose our paths can cross once more.
Indeed, especially if there's a dark magic user out there like Ara suggests. But all right, gentlemen, I'm afraid I'm a little bit busy now, so I will leave you to it, and we'll see each other again soon, I'm sure.
Thank you, sir, and it's an honor to be part of the Order of the Gauntlet.
It is, and I don't say that in a facetious way. understand it is an honor and one that we all must own up to and be responsible for. Thank you. So you go back. That took a day and a half, 2 days, that you and Oric were there. Time goes by a little bit. So that would have been, you're on day 9.
All right.
Day 12, the ring will be ready. Day 13, your splint will be ready. So we'll say that time is killed. We're on day 11 now. Ranshaw and Milo, you guys have found your documentation. Oric and Ara, you guys are done with your job. Mon's just kind of been hanging out with Tarax. But it's day 11, and I'll let you guys tell me what you want to do there as quickly as we can.
I guess if it's still available, would like to pick up the order from the Moonlight Apothecary. Of course, if we weren't able to pick it up on the day it was supposed to be ready, hopefully she held on to it for an additional 3 days.
She did.
Okay.
You go there, and she says, yes, my friends, I'm afraid I thought I was fearful that you guys forgot our plans. Luckily, no one came to pick up the orders.
Oh, fantastic. So sorry for being so late. I ended up getting a little sidetracked with some research I had to do. But so glad to hear that you held on to our order. I believe that we agreed on 136 gold pieces, provided that you were able to have those silkworm skins for me to use.
We do.
Along with the 2 potions of healing.
Yes, we did agree with that. And that still stands. Tardy or not, we did come to an agreement. I do have to warn you, the next time you may not be so lucky if someone were to come and purchase it, but no one did this time around.
I completely understand, and I thank you very much. Well, here, gold gladly given. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you.
Yes.
Perhaps I will attempt to get some more raw materials from you in the future, but I think this should suffice for our purposes at this time.
Good. Yes. Excellent. Wonderful. Andrew, let's hold on. We'll retroactively give you guys the potions if you need to. We'll do the checks at another time just because we're running out of time here.
Makes sense.
Let's accelerate, shall we?
At the bare minimum, with the 2 already made, I think that gives us enough for everybody in the party to have at least one. Because I know that I had one, Terex has one, Milo and Mon have one. So
I agree to at least one.
Oh, and you had already purchased one. There we go. So Oric, we got one for you, and now everybody in the party has at least 1 healing potion on hand, and I'll go ahead and hold on to the spare for now until we can figure out how the crafting goes.
Okay. And we'll retroactively give it you because you have the time to do it. We're just going to move forward here because we're running behind. Excuse me.
So that'll be 3 more. Okay.
Yeah, it will be 3 more if you don't batch up the checks. Which, I mean, they're real low DCs. All right. So we'll just run this through here real quick. You pay your gold to get your splint armor, Ara. You go back to Precious Metal Works to get your ring of protection. While you're there, he slyly mentions that he has not had any contact with Tralus. And
real quick,
yes.
Since I have no need of the chainmail anymore, can I sell it to a shop or something?
You can try and sell it. Most of them, because it's used. I forget what's the chainmail. It's 50 gold. Is it 50 gold in chainmail or it's a chain shirt, so it's only like 20 gold, I think. Or 40.
It is on the cheaper side. You're correct.
You know what? Here's what he said. Give me a persuasion check, Ara.
$17.
Okay, you managed to find someone who will buy it from you for 18 gold pieces.
Cool.
Which is a pretty good offer. For
chainmail is 75, by the way.
Oh, it's 75. It's chainmail or chain shirt.
Well,
Very-
so chainmail is heavy armor, which I imagine is what he has.
Yeah.
Chain shirt is actually medium armor.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was chain. I thought you had chain shirt. Okay, chainmail 75. Okay, you find someone
Chain shirt's
who will offer it
50.
for you for 25 gold pieces.
Okay.
Given that it's in a used condition, that they're going to have to do repair on it, but they still think that they can sell it for a fairly good price, with a little bit of time. And at the end of the day, it saves them a lot of time from having to do it.
So how much did I owe for the potion, and how much did I owe for my split mail?
Well, did you already buy the potion? Is that what
No.
you said?
No, I can't remember if I don't think that I took the gold out of my thing.
Okay.
I thought we were gonna just pick up the potion when you
Well,
pick up the stuff. I can't remember.
Yeah, I had worked out a deal with her to purchase the potions for 50 apiece,
Right.
instead of the 60, by giving her slightly more for the silkworm skins than she was asking for. So
Right. So yeah, I didn't take out the gold last week. So all right. So that's and then how much is the was the split mill? Because I paid half. I paid 125 up front.
You paid 125 up front. It was going to be 225, I think, the total, or two. Hold on,
Yes,
I'm just
because it was only an extra amount. It was an extra 25 for the customization.
Yes.
So
Yeah, so I think 225 was the total. So you owe an extra 100.
all right, we're square.
Okay. All right. So you get that. You get the chainmail. You get the ring of protection. The precious metalworks. When you pick it up, he slyly mentions to you guys that he has not come into contact with your mutual friend, of course, referencing Traulus. You guys still see posters for her throughout the city. Speckled, not sparkled. A couple days go by, and you wake up on day 16, and the innkeeper of the Old Coast Inn says, hey, and he waves you guys over. I had a dwarven lass hand me this for you guys, and it's a like wrapped up packet of about of parchments and a notebook about this thick. And he says, you didn't get it from me. And let's go ahead and take a quick break. I know we're running behind. I do want to try and get to it, gentlemen, but I do need to do, because I didn't get enough prep time in, I do need to put a couple things together. So give me 12 minutes. We'll come back at 10:30.
all right.
I know. I'm sorry, Andrew. The good news is, if you have to
We
leave,
could probably wrap it up with the introduction to this new segment anyway. So
I got a combat encounter. Yeah,
because
we're
we were up to
we're too late. We're gonna have
shove
to
into
do it.
30
You know
minutes.
what? Let's finish this roleplay section. We're running too late.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. You guys did a good job with roleplay. And Chase's thing took a little bit longer because the rules are a little bit wonky, and we had to get through them. But that's fine. It happens. We might have to extend a session, or
I ran as fast as I could.
you did. You didn't, because you didn't sprint very often. You didn't gallop very often. But
Hey, he still came in first and won me
Still
200
came in
gold. I'm
first,
happy.
yeah. All right. So you guys open up the notebook, and there's a letter with it that essentially says, can't talk long. I've been able to evade the guard on these trumped up charges, but Baron Troy's men, I think they found me. I think they spotted me. I've left instructions in this notebook on how to find I found it.
Ooh.
And I've left instructions on how you guys can piece together its location. but I'm leaving them here so that way they don't catch me with them. But I'm pretty sure they'll be able to find it if they catch me. So please come and get me. And that's all it says.
Okay.
And we will leave it there. We'll go ahead and leave it there. That I'm actually happy about that, because that means that next time, because I was going to shorten it and I was just going to say it's going to tell you exactly where it was. I actually had a puzzle. Yeah, I had a puzzle.
Now we can do the
Now we can do the
puzzle.
puzzle.
Yay.
So we will leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate it. If you can appreciate the work these guys put in, and the work that I put in, and the bravery it takes to come out and make yourself a fool on the internet, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel for more. We will be back next week with the next installment of season 1 of Fairly Adventurous. Thank you guys again. Go check out Pandawan, Papa Pandawan. Go check out Malcolm Punch. Go check out Can't Win 'Em All Gaming. Go check out Fairly Critical. Don't check out Melvin. Don't check out Josh. But
unless you're into that.
Unless you're into that. Unless you're into that naughty nice, an attempt was made, naughty baptism stuff. But we will see you next time. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you soon.
Peace. I just want to point the fact out that the two people with English words on their shirt, one of them is above the other, and it definitely says naughty baptism.
Naughty baptism.
Is that what that says? If I'm going to be honest, so mine
I
said
couldn't
the
see the
same
knives. An attempt was made is so much worse.
Okay.
At least naughty baptism's just like a shitty nun porn.
His
An
shirt
attempt
cut
was
off on my
made.
screen. I did not read
An attempt
baptism.
was made. Like, I don't even know.